and welcome to the first Mirrorshades rules video. In this video we'll be covering the main actions that the Corp players do at the map. It won't be all the details of everything they can do, or let alone the whole game, but it will give you an idea on some of the main actions and should help you understand the rulebook a little bit better. First off, we're going to start up by setting up the defences of one of the corporate buildings. This is key to stop those nasty punks getting in and stealing all their important research and projects. So the very first thing to do is place the research and project cards into the research server. So as you can see here, some research cards and some project cards. Now as they're in an inactive project that's not currently under development, they go into the research server. Once they become under development, they'd move into the development server. Additionally to that, if this was an HQ building, you might also have shares that go into the HQ server, or media cards that go into the media studio. We're just going to start with one of the standard buildings. We're now going to put some security cards into the other rooms. What we're going to show, the key things to take note on these security cards is what room they go into. So this one you can see here is a card that can only go into the reception rooms. There are others that can go into maintenance, or the offices, or in just any room. The other thing to take note of is the number next to which room they go into, which is the threat level. When you're placing the cards, they can only go into buildings that have a threat level of that amount or higher. So in this case it's a 0, but if this was a 1, 2 or 3, we need to ensure the threat level was appropriate. Lastly, the only other thing to take note of is each room in the building has a number, which is the maximum number of cards that can go into that room. You cannot place more cards than there is. And that is it for the buildings. You'll also be placing ice into your servers on the VR map. I'm going to cover that today because the process is very similar, but you just put them in the correct tiers rather than into rooms. To see how this all affects the run, you'll have to watch the runs video, but right now we're going to move on to the other actions Corps can do. So in Mirrorshades, each building that a Corp controls gets to take one action. The more buildings they control, the more actions they have. The most common actions they'll be taking are the research and development actions, which they use to gain and complete projects, which give them profit and popularity, and ultimately let them win the game. So we're going to look at the series of research and development actions they have access to. The first is the research action itself. This allows them to draw more cards, both project and research cards, which go into the research server and allow them to start working on projects. So to do this, they make an R&D test. Their R&D skill is always a D8, and in this case, our Corp player has rolled a 1. They then draw one card, which then gets placed into the research server. Once they have enough cards, they can then use the initiate project action. To do this, you need to have one project and then have all the other requirements as listed on the cards. In this case, that is a blue matrix card, a red cloning card, and a white heavy industries card. If you have all those, you can do the initiate project action and place them into the development server. That project is now being worked on. To then actually develop that, you need to do the developed project action. Again, this is an R&D test, so player rolls a d8, in this case getting a 5, and they can then place progress tokens equal to that number onto the project. Once enough progress tokens have been placed to meet the requirements of the project, which in this case is 8, the project is completed, and any success effects, in this case 12 profit and 4 popularity, are inactive. Other building actions that can be done in the game include buying media cards and buying reroll tokens at an HQ building, and also rearranging of security cards in any building. This lets you move in between rooms and refocus security, or if you've got two buildings on the same map doing that action, actually move security cards between buildings as you wish. In addition to every building taking an action, each Corp on each map has 3 special staff counters they can use to complete specialist tasks. The first one we're going to look at is their med teams. Now these are used to cure cyber flu. Cyber flu is indicated on the map by the green tokens with the little white scrawls on it of sickness. All they need to do is place the med team on a location that's got cyber flu, so that'll either be a building or a street. They then make another R&D test, which is a D8, and remove the number of cyber flu tokens equal to what they roll, in this case 5. This helps them protect their buildings, stops their staff and customers getting sick. The next one they use is the Corporate Protection Executive, or CPE. These guys have one function. They get placed on a building, and when on that building, instead of using the security rating to defend the building, you get to use the player's security skill, which is a D8. So rather than being maybe a 2 or 3, they get to roll every time and the punks are running against them. in this case doing worse than they would have done without. Lastly is the covert agent. The covert agent has a range of actions they can do, which is covered in the rules, but they're usually sort of subtle, dirty, illegal things, including classic megagame wizard wheezes. So have a read through what they can do and try and be inventive during the game.